Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and thank you for joining me another week in this little mini series that I'm putting together showing how to overhaul a DLTX carburetor that you would find on a John Deere letter series tractor, like this one that's in front of me. The last couple of weeks we've been working to disassemble this thing and we are now ready to the point where we can start cleaning it. And the first step in that is all of the passageways in the idle circuit, and then we're also going to go over into the load circuit and make sure that we've got fuel flowing up into the load side of the carburetor as well. It's a lot less complicated than the idle circuit, but it is just as important in the long run if you want your tractor to run well. So anyway, enough talking, let's get working. Okay, here we have our carburetor completely disassembled. The emulsion tube pulled out. But before we go and clean the outside of it, I always like to take a piece of MIG welding wire right here. I think this is just 30 thousandths MIG welding wire. And run this piece of MIG welding wire through all of the passageways on the idle side of the carburetor and down into the stem, just to make sure that we have all of these passageways completely clear. I don't know why, but I always typically just start with cleaning the stem. And if you look, can you see down in there? Let me turn my light on. You can see that there is some debris, but when I stick this wire down this passageway, you can see it come down into here. So the passageway is clear, but there is just a little bit of debris right here. And inside of this little pocket, there we go. There's a tiny hole that was blocked, but it is no longer blocked. Let's see. No longer blocked. Now what this little passageway does that we just unblocked is this connects this tube right here in the idle circuit over into the idle needle. Because the idle needle comes out right here. We know that. And so when you screw this idle needle in and out, it regulates how much fuel flows from the float bowl in through this hole right here. And then it has to go from this, in this hole, through that hole, and then over through this hole that I just unclogged right here, and then up this tube right here. Okay? And then from that tube, then we need to make sure, oh yeah, that's nice and clean. We need to make sure that the fuel can flow up this tube and down this passageway right here. This is the top hole. Down this passageway, you can see that it's clear because you can see my wire down this hole right here. And then you can see there's two holes, one right here, which is kind of drilled at an angle. You see that hole? Drilled at an angle. That one's clear. And then the other hole is on the back side of the butterfly valve, and it is right there. So with that, we've basically cleared out the entire passageway for the fuel to go from the float bowl through this hole, up over into this chamber, up this passageway right here that's to the right of the idle adjust screw, up that passageway, and then horizontally along the length of the carburetor and out those two holes right there. That is essentially the idle circuit of this carburetor, and it's now completely clear. So that's where the fuel flows, but then there's also some vent lines that we need to make sure are clear. And let's just start right here with this lower line. Oh, see, look, you can see there's a lot of debris down in here. You see that? This just blob of rust and dirt just came out of that vent line. But let's just make sure that this is nice and clean. So this is going to go, oh boy. Yeah, this is, oh boy. Can you hear that? Listen. This is definitely not clean. That was clogged solid. And, oh yeah, It's going to come out here, which is also clogged solid. Can you see that? This one has a bug nest that's living down in here. Yeah. Okay, now still dirty, but at least, oh yeah, this is, man. Okay. Can you see my wire down in there? Down inside of this hole right here. Hopefully you can see my wire. Okay. It's still pretty dirty, but at least it's free, that then when we go soak this, that then the solvents and things like that will be able to at least pass into that passageway. It's also, this is your vent, so that's nice and clear, and it comes out and meets up here with the, let's see, this is clogged too. You hear that? This hole right here, this vent, it passes through this right here. Can you see my wire down in there? And then it goes into there. So this is all connected down in here. Now, as well, down inside of here, there's a hole right here that's on the side. This needs to be clear. And it just goes right here into the idle screw area. And then there's a bigger hole right here down at the center. This one's nice and clear here. And it goes into the stem of the carburetor. So that is your idle circuit on the carburetor. Okay, here's the load side of the carburetor. It's a lot simpler. So if we put this down, sorry, it's, we should be able to look through here. Oh yeah, can you see my needle there, or my wire there? So we know that fuel is able to get from the float bowl out here, where the fuel is, you know, the reservoir of fuel, it's able to get through the load and into the center of the stem where the emulsion tube is. So we're good there. Now in the previous video where we were talking about the emulsion tube and what its function was, I talked very briefly about the idle circuit, but I failed to talk at all about the venting. And I believe the venting to be just as important as the fuel delivery circuit, because if we look right here, this is your idle system. So you have air entering your carburetor over here. This is the choke side, and it goes through the venturi, drops some pressure, and comes over here. Well, you'll see that the fuel actually doesn't, at idle, the fuel doesn't enter the airstream right here as it does when you're under load. Let's see, where's my load diagram? Oh. Here's one under load. See, the fuel is coming through the center of the emulsion tube, and it's entering the air stream up here, and it's going into the carburetor here. You can see the throttle valve is wide open. Well, when we're at idle and the throttle valve is closed, or mostly closed, the fuel enters in through these passageways, through your idle circuit. See? And you've got the fuel that just dribbles into the airstream right here. So, but if you don't have a proper vent, remember that the float bowl right here is at atmospheric pressure. This is at a reduced pressure. That's what draws the fuel up in. If you have, if you don't have a vent, then there's going to be suction as the fuel leaves this sealed, I'm going to say this sealed cavity. there's going to be suction, and fuel is not going to want to go up into this tube. But as long as you have a vent in here to keep this fuel down here in the float bowl at atmospheric pressure, then this fuel will flow freely through this idle circuit. So that's why having a clean venting circuit is crucial to having a good idle circuit. I always think of it kind of like turning a milk jug upside down. Obviously, if you just turn a milk jug upside down and let the milk drain out of it, it's going to jug, glug, glug, and you're going to, it's not going to go out freely. But if you put a hole in the top of it, then all of that milk's just going to drain out of the milk jug really quickly and easily. It's the same principle on this. You've got that fuel that's down inside of the float bowl of your carburetor that wants to get up into the airstream. And if you don't have a vent to let that air go out, then it's not going to want to flow as freely. It's going to, glug, glug more or less, kind of like that milk draining out of the milk jug. I don't know. That's the analogy that works in my mind. Hopefully it makes sense for you guys. In fact, if we go back one page here in the manual, it talks a little bit about, has a decent diagram, I think, showing you have your inlet air going through the venturi, dropping in pressure. Right here, you have your atmospheric pressure pushing down on the liquid in the float bowl. And then this low pressure draws the fuel up the emulsion tube and into this stream of air going into the engine. The last thing that I wanted to talk about before we end the video is the Economizer plug and what its role is in the carburetor. This little brass plug right here is the Economizer plug, and it goes in the carburetor right here, right inside of the vent portion of the idle circuit. Okay, there. Now the Economizer plug is installed, and if we look down inside the throat of the carburetor, we can see right here and right here, so if we'll focus, those two holes are these two holes in the idle circuit. But then there's a larger hole down in here. I'll try to zoom in on it. Right there. And if you look closely, you can just barely see the very end of the Economizer plug sticking there in that hole. Now here's another Economizer plug, and the key thing to notice here is that the diameter of this brass portion of that plug is smaller than the diameter of the hole that's in the barrel of the carburetor. Now here's a diagram showing what we're talking about. Here's your Economizer plug right here. And when the throttle is closed, as shown by the dashed outline of the throttle at idle, when the throttle is closed and the tractor is idling, then this plug is on the higher pressure side of the throttle valve and nothing is happening. However, when the throttle cracks open and is partially open, then this Economizer plug is now on the low side of the throttle valve, the low pressure side of the throttle valve. And what that does is that allows air from the low pressure side of your carburetor to go back down into the float bowl. And that reduces the amount of fuel that is sucked up into the airstream when the piston is drawing back and sucking this new charge of air and fuel into the engine. It reduces the amount of fuel. And that's why it's called the Economizer plug, is because under partial throttle, then it reduces the fuel that is more economical with fuel, doesn't use as much fuel, because it's kind of like an air bleed. I always think of it as like a straw. If you're drinking a beverage through a straw, if you poke a hole into the side of the straw as you're sucking the beverage up the straw, you're also getting a small amount of air inside of that, and the straw doesn't work as well, and what you are getting in your mouth has little bubbles in it, as along with the beverage that you're drinking. So that's kind of how I equate the economizer plug. It's that air bleed that reduces the amount of fuel going into the engine. So anyway, I hope that's useful to people, and I think that's going to be the end of this this little chapter of this mini series, talking about what all of these passageways do inside of your carburetor. And in the next video, we're going to be talking a little bit about how we clean and prep and paint the carburetor, in preparation for final assembly. So anyway, I'll see you guys next week when we drop that video.